Lesson 2.4 is the distributive property for algebra. So label your paper Lesson 2.4, the distributive property. Here is some new vocabulary. At the bottom, you'll see right here, new vocabulary, the distributive property, term, constant, coefficient, and like terms. So the first key concept is the distributive property. Most of you already know this. This is a review. So just maybe just write your own example of the distributive property. This is these are good ones, like 9 times 30 minus 9 times 2. So then you would do 9 times 30 and 9 times 2, and you subtract them. Very simple. Now, how this changes in algebra is that they throw the letters in there and they try to really make it a little bit more difficult. So try these problems, push pause, and then we will go over them. All right, so you know me, I like to draw my little rainbows. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 7 is 14. Now, I bring my subtraction sign, so then I just get 6 minus 14t. I cannot combine those because they aren't like terms. They both don't have a t, so I cannot add them or subtract them together. So then here I do 3. Now this is a little bit backwards. So I do 3 times 0.4, which is 1.2, plus 3 times 1.1, which is 3.3c. So 1.2 plus 3.3c. This one, it is assumed that there is a 1 there. So you would distribute this negative sign to everything inside the parentheses. So this becomes negative 2x minus 1. And then this is the same. You just had to go backwards again. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And then negative 1 times negative 8, remember this all goes together, is a positive 8a. 7y plus 6y equals 13y because they are like terms. And 3t minus t is 2t because they are like terms. All right, so, oh, that went too far. Here are the 4 definitions that you would probably want to put at the beginning of your notebook. In an algebraic expression, a term is a number, a variable, or a product of a number and one variable, one or more variables. So a term would be like 6, x, or like in that last one when we did 3t minus t and we got 2t, it would be like that. All right, so a constant is a term that has no variable. So 12, it's a term. See how it says it's a term? But it also has no variable, so they call it a constant. So they divide these terms up into different categories. And then a coefficient is a numerical factor of a term. So a coefficient is the number at the beginning of these terms. So like in 2t, 2 is the coefficient. Think of 3b minus 12 as 3b plus negative 12 to determine that the constant is negative 12. Like terms have exactly the same variable factors. So here you can see these both have x's, so they're like terms. This has an x squared, this has an x squared, this has an xy and an xy, x squared y cubed, x squared y cubed. Those are all like terms. X and y are not like terms. Y and y squared are not like terms. Y and xy are not like terms. And x squared y and xy squared are not like terms. All right, so demonstrate the following algebraically and then simplify. So what you need to do is read the sentence and then try to make it look like a mathematical expression. So the variable m multiplies across the sum of 2, 6, and n. So what that looks like, okay, the variable m multiplies, there's a key word, so m is going to multiply across the sum. Here's another key word, sum of all three of these. So if I were to do this, it would look like this, m times 2 plus 6 plus n. And then you can figure that out by the distributive property. They simplified it to 8, 2 plus 6. And then so you get 8m plus nm. All right, try the next 3 and then we will correct them. All right, 7 times the sum of 2 times x plus 3. So 7 times the sum of 2 times x plus 3. So 7 times, that goes on the outside, and then 2x plus 3 goes on the inside. And then I distribute and I get 14x plus 21. The product of 4 and the quantity 3 plus 5y. So 4 and the quantity meaning all of this is one thing. All of that is one thing, 3 plus 5y. So that would be 12 plus 20y. The sum of 5b and 10c. So it's really just 5b and 10c. So they factored out a 5, but you don't need to. You can leave it as 5b plus 10c. Either one is correct. All right, that's it for your notes.